So what is it that the best companies do to really get their people engaged and caring about the future? Well, let me share with you, first of all, 9 specific things, and then the 4 things that the best do differently. So first of all, engagement is an active focus every day. This isn't just something that comes up once a year and we wonder how well we're getting people engaging. Every conversation that leaders and managers have with every member of their team is about trying to make sure that they're engaged, that they understand what's going on, that their ideas and opinions are being sought and are being valued. Secondly, it's about gathering relevant, meaningful data about engagement. So find the right survey, ask the right questions. So for example, in an earlier case study I talked about LM. I helped them to develop a survey of their staff where we assessed things like the quality of teamwork, an esprit de corps. We looked at the quality of communication. We looked at the level of empowerment that people felt, that they were able to actually solve problems and be backed by management. And we looked at the quality of leadership. The data that came from that was very insightful and useful. Number 3 is to act on the findings. Don't just do a survey and put it in a filing cabinet. With that organization, we presented the findings to the whole staff, and the boss came in right behind me to say, and this is what we think we should do to improve that. What are your ideas and opinions about that? So it was being reinforced at every different level. Number 4, engagement needs to happen from the top down. So the boss of the organization needs to value the opinions of the next layer and so on throughout the organization. But people need to be empowered at every level. So in the Pike Place Fish Market case study we looked at earlier in this course, every member, even a first day new start, had the right to coach the owner of the business. If they had a suggestion to make, they had a right to be listened to. Next, select the right managers. You need people who have a talent for supporting, empowering, engaging their people. So that you're not just hiring people that are sharp disciplinarians. If you want to get the benefits of fully engaged staff, you need your managers to be espousing that and to be skillful in that way. You need to define engagement goals, what it means in your organization. Make it meaningful so that people know what's meant by the term engagement, what it means in your particular kind of business, how their inputs are going to be valued and listened to, what kind of difference it's going to make, that it's not just some kind of paper-thin exercise that you're going to go through. And finally, my suggestion is get out of your office. I hear managers all the time telling me, well, my door is always open. I'm sorry, that just doesn't cut it. Your door may physically be open, but people don't feel that they're able to walk through. And in any case, that's not where they're getting on with the job. You should be getting out of that door. You should be, the door is open, well, you use it. You go through there, go and speak to your people where they are doing what they do and find out what they think is going on. Remember the example of the $20 desk fan? That somebody on the production line solved the problem that the management had spent $8 million successfully solving. Those kind of solutions are out there all of the time. I did some work with a pharmaceutical company a few years ago, and I discovered that one of their employees was employed as a bottle washer. He was working on a production line as a bottle washer. Now this guy turned out to be the single most intelligent, brightest problem solver that I have ever come across in my entire life. He didn't know it, and his his company didn't know it. His teachers didn't know it because he left school with no qualifications. He could solve visual problems, lateral thinkers. He could see things that were happening in the company, and he assumed that everybody else, better educated than him, had already thought of these things, and so he held himself back and didn't make the suggestions. Maybe you've got a diamond just like that in your workforce, and until you go and ask those questions, give them the opportunity, get out of your office, go and find out what they think. Otherwise, it won't happen. Next, what I want to do is to share with you the 4 things that the best companies do differently to the rest. This is where you can really get a competitive advantage. This is to deeply integrate engagement into the culture of your organization. Firstly, it's about strategy and leadership. Engagement should be part of your company vision. How much are you going to empower your staff and your people to really feel part of this? How far are they really going to feel that they have something to gain from making a difference in the organization? Secondly, we need accountability and for performance. So you need metrics, but it's also in the tone, whether you're genuinely asking questions and actually listening, if you remember our communication module, to what people are saying. Thirdly, these companies communicate and manage knowledge at a really great level. They communicate about the importance of engagement, but they also share best practice with each other. Finally, ongoing learning and development for both individuals and teams is paramount in these organizations. So let me ask you, like, for example, from day one, do you learn from new starts, people that are just joining your organization? We tend to be trying to train them in our ways of doing things, but people coming into an organization bring different knowledge, different ideas, and different experience. And maybe we have as much to gain from learning from them. Maybe they should be inducting us as well as the reverse. Also, I have a lot of experience of organizations sending people on training courses, perhaps an online course like this one. They tick the box then, they've done it, it's completed. Do you really follow up with your people and find out what they've learned? And is there something there that we should be doing differently, that we should be changing? Can I help you with what you've just learned to make sure that that's part of the way that you work in the future? To really integrate that learning into the organization and make it valuable rather than just an exercise that we put people through. So learning and organization are absolutely vital. What I'm drawing on here is the most recent research by Gallup. Go to their website and have a look. There is actually a 122-page report that I've condensed here for you. If you want to look at it in detail, if you want to look at your local geographical area, they've separated out China, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, US, and so on into, they've got specific findings for each of the regions. If it's important to you, go and have a look. But above all, implement the ideas that I've been suggesting to you today. Pick them up and make them, put them at the heart of the daily practice for yourself and for your team. So if you're building an engagement strategy, if you really want to know how to build that passion from your staff, I suggest there are 5 things that you should be thinking about from the employee's point of view. In other words, what is it that they really need? What are they really looking for that they would value? Now, I draw here on research by a company called Forum. Go to forum.com and you can find more information about this. The 5 things are, first of all, enjoyment. People need to feel, I enjoy my work. And they go home and say, do you know, I enjoy what I do? Secondly, a sense of belonging. So they feel part of things. They're not just stuck at a desk doing something, or on a site doing a job that other people, they don't feel connected to the other people around about them. Thirdly, a sense of that they're advancing. So I feel that I'm getting ahead, that I'm making progress, that my career is moving forward, that I'm growing as a person in some way. Fourth, recognition. I need to feel valued. That what I have to say, what I do, the effort that I put in, the attitude I bring to work, that it is valued by other people. And finally, a sense of accomplishment, that I'm actually being productive, and that counts. Now, the other four are obviously preconditions for that final one. So people need to care that they're being productive. What staff do not need, the research shows that there are two things above all that staff absolutely do not need. Firstly, unhelpful managers. The majority of people leave organizations or get disengaged because of the way that they are treated by managers. Now, managers may get stressed, they may be under pressure, but that is no excuse for treating your staff badly, for cutting them off, for failing to make time to listen to them, to make them feel that they belong, that they're advancing, that they make a difference, and so on. The second thing is a negative climate, a negative atmosphere when they turn up to work, an atmosphere of distrust or suspicion. The best example I have here is a team that I helped a few years back, a team of around 12 people. Two of them were on long-term stress-related illness simply because the atmosphere at work was so bad. The tensions between them had become so great that people simply could not stand turning up to work every day. They were scientists and very good at what they did, by the way. It only took one morning working with them to draw a line under this and move things forward and create a different way forward for them. And it was about them taking responsibility for changing the climate at work and just getting over the past. The past became a subject that was not to be discussed anymore. We drew a line and we said, now it's about what you want to create in the future. They decided on how it should feel to turn up to work every day, and we worked out a number of ways that they could make that happen. Then we worked on how to sustain that, because it turned out that it worked like a charm. It was as easy as that, one morning, and everything turned around. So what I'm going to share with you is an employee engagement worksheet, where these 5 elements that staff need, enjoyment, belonging, advancement, recognition, and accomplishment. I'd like you to rate your team, your organization, on how you're doing from the staff point of view in those different areas. And that'll give you a lot of ideas about what you should be working on and how to move it forward. So go to the document that's attached to this course, fill in the worksheet, and then work out what you can do to improve things.